Wait, no, that's not right. There we go. Before we get into it, I wanted to preface this video by saying there's going to be some minor spoilers in here about the gameplay itself, but I'm going to try my best to refrain from spoiling anything actually story or lore related. And with that out of the way, let's just jump right into it. So Starfield is a brand new open world RPG developed by Bethesda Softworks, who are most notable for the Elder Scrolls and Fallout series. It currently retails for $70 on Steam and the Xbox Marketplace, but you can also download it totally free if you're an Xbox Game Pass member. And this is honestly probably like the biggest game Xbox has ever seen come to Game Pass to date. So in the game, it's the year 2330, and you play as the newest member of Constellation, a group of space explorers who seek an answer to the question, what's out there?
Welcome to Constellation. We have a lot to talk about.
The game itself is a carbon copy of Fallout and Skyrim, but on a massively larger scope. In all three of these IPs, you essentially play the same game, just different story and setting. In this game, like its predecessors, you create your own character and proceed through the main story, writing it as you go. This is because almost every decision you make has some way of changing the overall playing experience, and there's usually multiple variations of how the story could possibly end.
What are you? Guards!
It starts just like any other Bethesda experience, where you get free range to customize the main character, you. I tried to make like this little scrawny alien dude, but this was the best I could come up with, and later I just couldn't stand it, so I gave him Sean O'Malley hair. There's a whole new unique pool of weapons, loot, and equipment that's also fitting to the space theme. The guns and melee weapons all look real but futuristic, spacesuits act as your armor, and all the random objects match the setting and story. Something that sets this apart from the others though is the space and ship combat. The ships are nice to essentially have a base anywhere, so you can do your crafting or upgrades on the go. And the customizations for these things are endless. The size of your ship, and your skills, alter how well you're able to upgrade systems or maneuver, and the ships honestly get around pretty well in the space environment. They're fun to fly. The ship combat itself is also pretty fun. It's actually challenging trying to switch your power levels mid-fight, and I think it's a nice added layer of skill, so you're not just full-throttled spamming the trigger the whole time. This game also introduces its own power abilities, kind of like how Skyrim has shouts, or Fallout has the VAT system. But honestly, these fell kind of flat for me. I never really thought or cared to pull them out much. They just didn't seem that worth it. Besides precognition, which lets you see a response to something before you say it, that baby, tons of use. It also has its own unique perk system that opens up a bunch of different styles of play. These things are hard if you're trying to go for a generally good character. It's best to pick some kind of specific build to really maximize you and your equipment's potential. The size of the star map is ginormous too. I know there was a lot of skepticism of how they were going to be able to pull off a game to this scale, but I think it 100% works. Realistically, most people aren't even going to visit every single planet or moon in a single playthrough, but each one feels massive in scale and are appropriately filled with random encounters for you to discover. I say appropriately filled because they did a great job at finding the balance between a game feeling alive or dead. The city planets are bursting with life, and the desolate moons are cold and empty, and that's honestly how it should be. But there's also plenty of random things to do on any given planet that keeps the experience intriguing. Let's just clear the air right away about the planets though. No, you can't completely circumnavigate the surface or anything, but honestly you wouldn't even really want to with no sort of land transportation. That just sounds like a death sentence. It's probably also worth noting that this game has a lot of controls. I originally tried playing on controller, but there was just too much going on, and changing one bind screwed up like 5 other things, so I just had to swap over to the old mouse and key. As far as replayability, I mean there is tons to do in a game like this. Say you just stuck with the exact same character build, there's still multiple variations of the story and ending you can play through. And the skill tree allows for countless different styles of play to try out.
You in. Let me see. Oh, I think we can make an exception in your case. Mr. Slayton will see you. Just use the elevator.
That's not even mentioning the hundreds of side quests and random encounters to discover after the main story. You can play this game for years and still uncover new things about it. There was also a couple things I didn't really enjoy about the gameplay experience that I wanted to just mention real quick. Like how quick a mission would be in relation to the travel. Let me explain that for a sec. A lot of the missions are rather quick, where you just go somewhere to talk to someone real quick or just go pick something up, And with that, it feels like you spend a considerable amount of time in the ship loading screens while you're jumping around different universes. Also, I hate the classic follow me prompt you get all the time with people in these kind of games. I feel like I'm the damn NPC out here just following the main character while they do stuff. Like, okay man, where are we going? Where are we going? And the digipicks. I'm pretty sure in other Bethesda titles you get the lockpick back if you successfully pick it on the first go. But in here, you use one at least every time, and it always feels like I'm super low on them. The overall gameplay experience is about what you'd expect from a Bethesda title. You start out level 0 with nothing, go on missions exploring random places, scavenging around for weapons, gear, and shiny objects, while shaping the story and world around you. Combat itself feels pretty dull, but opens up with specific class builds, weapon attachments, and powers. Before I get into the visuals, I just want to say I had my settings on a mix of medium and high, because I wasn't sure how it would run on the old PC day one. And I had film grain on 50%, because I kind of liked the movie look it gave things. The deluxe editions of the game came with a free art book and soundtrack. Going through this, you can really see how much work went into bringing this vision to reality, and it gave me a new appreciation for the work put into the art to better sell the story and world. I mean, this is easily hundreds of posters, paintings, magazines, just to all help build this world. And I'm not sure if space is like a visual crutch, but all the planets and galaxies look awesome. Also, these little power quests are kind of boring, but some of the best visual and audio displays in the game, for sure. The only things that kind of looked weird was some of the rockier planets, and occasional screen tearing or like frame drop when entering a busy area. Overall though, the game looks pretty good, and its style is familiar but a bit better than Bethesda's older games. As mentioned earlier, you receive a whole soundtrack for free when you download one of the deluxe editions of the game. It's not anything I'd be bumping in the car, but it fits the game well, whether it's triumphant, mysterious, or frightening, and it's used well to highlight whatever feeling they're wanting to portray. As far as bugs and issues, I mean, come on, it's Bethesda. The bugs are almost part of the charm at this point. They can be pretty funny, and it's the same usual culprits, like character dialogue overlapping, or characters being out of frame while talking, or objects just not in the right place at all. But all in all, this game ran pretty well day one. I was really scared to have like another Cyberpunk on our hands, but it's definitely playable and runs pretty well. I never experienced anything super game breaking and never had any crashes. Honestly, really happy they took the time to make sure everything was honed in before launch. If you're a fan of Bethesda, then you definitely enjoyed this new experience they've crafted here. Starfield created some big shoes for itself, and I think they filled them pretty well. It's a highly ambitious project that delivers on the promises it gave. Definitely feels like 25 years of work well spent, and I'm excited to keep exploring the universes they built for us. If I had to wrap this all up in a rating, we're definitely going with the thumbs up. Not quite the double thumbs up, but for sure one, like really high up in the air. If you enjoyed the review, don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. This has been Lunar, and I'll catch you guys later.